Hey there everyone, my name is Jessica Totino. Welcome to my channel, Chapters and Chats. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you stopped by, and if you've been here before, thank you for coming back and supporting my channel. I talk about all sorts of books on this channel. I only have one video so far, but I am looking forward to making more. Life gets crazy, so I try and record when I can. I have a video that I had recorded in October and never posted. So is life. So this video is all about my favorite books. I have 10 books that I've read in the last probably 8 or 9 months. Really, when I started to get into reading more as an adult. So I started back in August of 2024. Started as kind of like a book collecting hobby. I had all these books that I hadn't read, and then it actually decided to start reading some, and now it's grown, and I've read, I think, 41 books since August. And I read probably like 4 to 8 books a month. So thanks for coming. And without further ado, let's get into the top 10 books. I'll be talking about my top 10 favorite books. I started reading in August of 2024, kind of picking up books here and there the beginning of 2024, not really reading them. Does anybody else have a bad habit like that? I do. I know I do. Anyways, I just thought it would be fun to go through my top 10 books that I have just adored. Like I said, I had started to read in August of 2024, really picked up over the last couple of months. I just started my first book for March a couple days ago, which is my book of the month. I will also post about that below. Book of the month is just a monthly subscription service where you can get mostly books. They do have audiobooks as well, but lots of new releases. They have some award ceremonies on their platform. Makes it kind of fun to go ahead and vote for your favorite authors and books. But basically, you get a book for a discount. I always feel like it's Christmas or like my birthday when I get it every month, because it's just fun to get a brand new book. And all mine are hardcovers, which makes it just chef's kiss. So, anyways, more about that in the description box below. But without any rating system at all in this video, because I could not rate them, I'm going to go ahead and start my top 10 favorite books of this last year. Okay, so 4 out of my 10 books are actually by the same author, and I was digging through them. I knew 3 of them were by the same author, and then I realized, oh, there's 4 of them. So almost half the books in this haul are by the same author, but I could not share them. So for those of you who are wondering, Alice Feeney is one of my favorite authors. Rock, Paper, Scissors is one that I read probably a month and a half, 2 months ago. Well, yeah, probably 2 months ago at this point. It was right after Christmas, within January, I want to say. I just thought it was fun to read because it was snowy winter, and this obviously sparks winter vibes. So Alice Feeney's writing style really resonates with me. I don't know exactly what it is about her writing style. I just like it. It's just fast paced. It usually has different points of view, and I really like Rock, Paper, Scissors. It is about, and I know I've talked about this before, I think in my first video, which I apologize for not doing more, but Mr. Wright and Mrs. Wright win a vacation to a like remote area in Scotland, and without giving too much away, I think it says, what does it say on? I think it says in the back. This weekend may make or break their marriage, but they didn't randomly win this trip. One of them is lying, and someone doesn't want them to live happily ever after. So, just it kind of gives. I don't even know what kind of vibes to describe this, but it's just a unique book. And one thing that I wanted to mention is that the husband, Adam, he has facial blindness, which I was like, okay, that's so random to add to the description of this book. But don't forget about it, because it does come in to play at some point in this book, which is It's a zinger for sure. Next one by Alice Feeney is Sometimes I Lie. This one was really fun to read. I started it on audio, and then I kind of did immersive reading, which I've actually come to really enjoy. Let me know in the comments, do you prefer physical book, audiobook, ebook, combination of both? I really like physical book and then audio. I usually listen in the car, and then I'll read while it's playing as well. But Sometimes I Lie is great. It's about this lady named Amber. She wakes up in a coma and she can't move, but she like senses what's going on around her. She can't speak. She can't open her eyes, and she really doesn't remember what happened right away. But she's like, okay, I'm trapped in my body. I'm kind of scared. What's happening? And that says, is she in a coma due to an accident? Is her sister having an affair with her husband? And what happened at work with her horrible boss? And who is the person who is silently visiting her bedside every night? So, this one, the twist at the end, I did not expect. I try and guess as I've read more and more of these thrillers. I did not see it coming. I loved this book so, so much. And if you love twists and you love fast paced books, 100% pick this up. Daisy Darker was one of the very first books. Actually, I think it was the second book I read. Honorable mention, Ashley Flowers' first book is the one I read. And then this was the second one that I read. Recommendation of a friend. She loves Lisa Jewell, and she thought Alice Feeney would be right up my alley. So similar type authors. So Daisy is estranged from her family, and it's Nana's birthday. I want to say she turned 80. I don't remember. Yeah, 80th birthday party, and they go to this remote island. Think of makes me think a lot of And Then There Were None, which I loved, especially when I read it the first time as probably a preteen. I loved it so much. So it was giving those types of vibes, especially with this book. So, anyways, one by one, people start dying and they can't leave because there's a big storm. The tide has gone out, or the tide comes in. Sorry, they can't leave until that tide goes out. The tide is rising. It's really stormy, and one by one, people start getting. So, this book has been and it was really fun to read. If you want something that's different, it's the setting. I want to say it doesn't seem like it's way in the past, but it's definitely like 1975 is when it's set. So definitely had those vibes for sure, but I really, really enjoyed this one. And my baby so far, there's been probably, I can't pick anyone. I'm not going to say that. This has been my favorite Alice Feeney book by far so far, and this was also a book of the month pick. Beautiful Ugly came out January of 2025. I got it in December, and I want to say I read it at the end of December or early January. Guys, it is so good. The audio is brilliant. We're actually reading this book right now in a book club that I'm in, and I actually might start this one in mine as well. Again, check out Chapters and Chats in the description box. It is a link posted, so you can just go ahead and click on it. We're a very small community, but I hope to grow soon. So anyways, Beautiful Ugly is about this writer. His name is Grady, and he's having a pretty good day. He is, I forget his wife. Oh, his wife's name is Abby, and he's having let me see. He calls his wife Abby to share some exciting news as he is driving home. He hears her slam on the brakes when she sees something in the road overhead. Over his protest, she gets out of the car, and eventually he finds her car on the cliff, and he doesn't find out what happens. A year later, I think, he ends up going to this island in Scotland, and he starts just kind of. Sorry, I got interrupted. So he ends up going to an island in Scotland, and it's a very just quaint little town, I want to call it. And his his manager, like his marketing manager, is like, hey, why don't you go to this island, um, get some writing done? It's, you know, very peaceful and you'll be able to concentrate there. And very weird things start happening. And he kind of, it's kind of written as like he is going crazy a little bit. I definitely loved the vibes that this book put off. The audio is great, so please, if you're able to listen to audio either through like your library app or Audible, I definitely suggest it. Next book, actually, yes, sorry, that was all of them by Alice Feeney. She is a wonderful author, like I mentioned. So if you think any of those are interesting, by all means, definitely check them out. Let me know what you think. There's a couple more that I would love to read by her. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But the next book that I fell in love with is by Mary Kubica. I also have another one of hers in this pile. And she is such a wonderful author. She's a great storyteller. This is a very interesting story. There's many that are interwoven into this one story. Lots of different points of views, and I don't want to ruin anything. You can always read the back. I want to try and keep this video somewhat short because I like to ramble. But basically a kiddo goes missing, and then there's her name's Delilah, and then on another story interwoven into this story, Shelby is a new mom, I believe, and she goes missing, and now Delilah shockingly returns, and everyone's like, okay, what happened? What do you remember? And somehow this Shelby that just went missing, her story is intertwined with this Delilah going missing. So there's a lot to process within this story, but I really enjoyed it, and the twists, I mean, there's several, and I was shocked. I definitely did not guess this, and I've watched a lot of Law and Order, guys, so I definitely thought I saw the twist coming on this, but a lot of the secrets of this town are coming undone. They're going to be unburied, and it is a great story. So definitely check this one out. So the next one I'd like to talk about is a very popular one. I'm sure you guys have probably all read it at this point, but I wanted to mention it. My assistant over here is helping me. He's helping me pass out books. You want to say hi? This is my son, Caleb. This is obviously Verity by Colleen Hoover. I believe it's coming out next year as a movie adaptation. Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer. She ends up ghostwriting for Verity Crawford, and ends up staying at the home that her and her husband own. And Verity is actually in a coma. What's up? He likes to help me. She is actually she was in an accident. It's been a while since I read this, but anyways, so she's not able to finish her book out, and so Lowen ends up taking the job and staying at their home, and kind of ends up falling for the husband. And gosh, now I can't remember his name. Anyways, like I said, you guys have probably all seen this book on the shelves, probably read it a million times, so I'm not going to go too in depth. Oh gosh, now not knowing the husband's name. Oh, Jeremy. I was like, I know the name. Anyways, the shock, the twist at the end. I like a lot of these I don't see coming. Some of them I'm like, really? Like I've only given one book a 2-star rating, and that was surprisingly a Freedom McFadden book, which is her new one. But like, shh, don't tell anyone. I feel bad when I have to rate books really low. But anyways, so Verity is really good. Check it out. So next one is First Lie Wins. I read this one, I want to say like October of 2024, so it's been a little while. This one's definitely a little bit different than a lot of the ones that I've shared already, the ones I've shared on my video prior. Those are all like either a murder's involved, very mysterious. This one's still mysterious, but I want to read the synopsis. The identity comes first, Evie Porter. Once she's given a name and location by her mysterious boss, Mr. Smith, she learns everything there is to know about the town and the people in it. Then her mark, Ryan Sumner, the last piece of the puzzle is the job. So she's kind of like an undercover private investigator type character, and I really, really enjoyed this. The only thing I would say is the ending I liked, but I just thought maybe it could have ended a little bit differently. This one would be a really, really great movie. I would also love to see like a sequel to this book. I think that would be really interesting, but definitely a fun book. It was very easy to read. It's also a Reese's book club. A lot of these books are older, and by older I mean a year, 2, 3 years old. So, anyways, fun book to read. First Lie wins. Definitely check this one out. Next one, Hidden Pictures, Jason Rekulak. This is the first book that I read that was different than some of the murder mysteries that I've read. I'm very into like murder mystery thriller, psychological thriller. This one's a little bit of a psychological thriller. Um, it was a very interesting read. I love, and I'm sure people have seen some of these. Let me find one that's interesting. Some really interesting pictures. So this girl named Mallory, she has been in and out of rehab, and she just got out of rehab, and she takes a job as a nanny to this boy named Teddy. And as she starts watching him, she just notices little things about him, and these drawings that I just showed start to get really, really weird, like very, very dark. And it's a really fun read. I love that there's pictures in here. I also listened to this one on audio, and I just thought it was a really fun way to read the story. So through reading and then also by listening. They don't have, obviously they don't have pictures on audio. They do have descriptions of the pictures, but if you don't have the physical book, definitely borrow it from somebody, or rent it from the library or something, because it's really, really good. So definitely check this one out if you want something different. So this book is one that I just finished reading before, I want to say like the week before last, maybe. Oh, I just realized my nails match. Isn't that fancy? Riley Sager was one that I was not sure about because I have another book by him and I started reading and I had to DNF it. I am going to give it another shot because I'm a very big mood reader, so I thought maybe, it just wasn't the right time for that book. Lock Every Door, I was highly surprised by. A coworker read this with me, and basically we ended up finishing within a couple hours of each other. And let me tell you, I'm just going to read it. After responding to a mysterious newspaper advertisement, Jules gets a job as an apartment sitter at the Bartholomew, one of Manhattan's most famous and secretive buildings. I just feel like I picture this. Like I've watched so many like Law and Order and shows in New York. Just like you can picture the building, right? It's just very like there's like a gargoyle statue, and there's just like these fancy elevators and a doorman. So just kind of picture it. Um, anyways, the Bartholomew feels like a lucky break for recently heartbroken and penniless Jules, who has been haunted by misfortune for most of her life. But then when a fellow apartment sitter in the building goes missing, she begins to suspect there are dark forces at I can't talk. Behind the Bartholomew's glamorous facade. Digging deeper into the building's past, she soon realizes that the Bartholomew is more dangerous than she thought. Really, really good. I finished this one in like 2 days, and I work full time. Like I like soaked this up like a sponge. It was so good. Um, so I'm very, very surprised by Riley Sager. Like I said, with a lot of these books, I think almost every single one. I'd have to look back to be sure. But I also listened to this on audio, and I just feel like it gives another vibe to the book. My assistant's playing on the phone. So anyways, definitely check this one out. Like I said, with all these, they are just great. I love them. I would not suggest a book that I did not like. Like I said, I think I've only given one book 2 stars. Otherwise, they've been like at least 3 to 5. And I think I'd have to double check my Goodreads, but I think almost all these are 5 stars. So anyways, last but not least, Mary Kubica, my favorite author besides Alice Feeney. She's Not Sorry. I read this with my mom, kind of on a whim too. She's like, "Hey, have you read this book? It's on my Libby app." And I was like, "No, let me see if I have it." I went over to Barnes and Noble because I literally live basically right across the street, and I'm so glad I did. Local Woman Missing, which I shared a little bit ago. Oh, look, my nails match this one too. It's just on theme. It's on theme with the video. I Can you tell I have ADHD, by the way? Like, I just like, I'm bopping back and forth between things. So She's Not Sorry is about this nurse who works in the ICU, and there's a patient that comes in, and it looks like she may have either jumped off a bridge or been pushed off a bridge. You find that out. And of course, I was guessing beforehand. I was like, and I was wrong. I was wrong about the entire thing. This type of book makes you think one thing very well by the author. She definitely makes you think one thing is happening, and then I would say like almost 2/3 of the way through the book, you're like, wait, do I need to go back and start this over? Because I was thinking this the whole entire time, and now this is happening, and you find this information out. So I really, really enjoyed it. I might have to go back and read it again because I just feel like, especially even the one I talked about earlier, Daisy Darker, I just feel like once you find some of the information out, you're like, I need to go back and see if I picked up on this, because I definitely didn't. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm talking about. But anyways, this has been a really great book to be able to read with my mom. So if you enjoyed any of these recommendations, please let me know down in the comments if you're planning on reading any. I would love to be friends on Goodreads as well. I will post my Book of the Month Club link as well, and my Facebook group. So thank you guys all for watching. Happy reading, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.